Yeah.
My hot take on the AI stand-in idea is that I think to go to market with that business, you have to make it so it's like, no, people don't know.
That's what I mean.
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
That's
Like
how.
I think it'll be better at first if people don't know. And then as more and more people get them, then it just becomes more acceptable in society to have AI stand-ins. And then then it can be like, oh yeah. But I think to go to market, what you want is like, oh no, you got an AI double that like it shows up on a Zoom call, looks like you, acts like you, talks when you would talk, looks over to the other screen when you would look over to the other screen, types when you would type. Nobody knows. What's up? Welcome back to Dark Mode, the business comedy podcast. My name is John Coyle, and I am a marketing consultant. My clients do over $500 million a year in revenue, and I have a little bit different format for you guys today. We're gonna free flow. We're gonna have a conversation about some stuff that's on our mind, some business ideas that we have, some marketing ideas that we have, some things that we're just noticing out in the world of business, e-commerce, online internet businesses. My guest today is my good friend, Casey, best friend since I was 12, and he started being friends with me at like 14. He didn't really think we were friends before that. So that's what you need to know about him. He doesn't trust easily. He closes. There's a wall there, but you know,
We tell a lot of jokes. That's a true story.
I know.
It's a real story. It hurts. It hurts every time you bring it up, but it's my truth, and I speak my truth. Like,
yeah, I appreciate you for that.
I was your friend before you were my friend, and that's just the reality of the situation. It doesn't. We don't have to look at it any deeper than that. Okay.
Yeah, you know, I think usually that's a bad way to start a relationship, right?
Well, I mean, I think if people are honest with themselves, I think that's how most relationships actually do start.
Like somebody's
more in first than the other person.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, how could it? And then right in that moment, we both knew immediately we would be
at
best
the same
friends.
moment.
This isn't you want to go do karate in the garage type of relationship. This was hey, my friend. Like, what?
Yeah, you already had a friend. You didn't need another
You
friend.
had to butter me up. I wasn't that easy.
In your mind, you were like, I'm pretty sure people just have one friend at a time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
You're like, I still think that actually.
Yeah, what do you mean I thought that?
All right. So, Casey, aside from being a friend, a non-easy to win over friend, is also excellent creative strategist. Basically that just means he makes ads that are good at selling things.
As a slap.
Makes ads
in the biz.
As the kids say. Or as we say in the biz, as the kids in the biz say. Not like kids, but like...
Yeah, I think there's some child labor laws.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're not doing... It's not like Epstein going on over here.
No, I don't think those kids were making ads, John. No, I'm a creative strategist.
They were advertising the island.
Well, certain people, they were advertising it, but that's another story for another time.
Yeah.
I'm a creative strategist at Tierra Marketing Agency. Look us up. Maybe we could work together someday. I could make ads and slap for you.
Yeah. All right. So I'll go first. This is just kind of like, if you were to jot down some stuff you're thinking about, shower thoughts. Call this format shower thoughts. I
like that little mic slap. You just let it know who's boss. I saw that. I'm not just going to let it slide.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, Mike.
Yeah. You kind of got to give it a little plat sometimes.
There you go. Let it know.
Create some waves with it. That was a fat women joke in case you were wondering. We're probably going to cut that.
And you either got to cut it or elaborate on it because I have no idea what you mean.
Yeah. Like slap it, make some waves with it. Fat women.
Whoa. Whoa. Yeah, I didn't get that there on my own.
This came out. I don't know.
That's my favorite kind of John.
Yeah.
Welcome to dark mode. Which, by the way, I take issue with this graphic, actually. I know behind the scenes, you asked me how it looks, and I said, great. But I also...
But you don't think it looks great?
I wanted it as a talking point. I do think it looks great. You look lovely. But the show's called Dark Mode, and you see this clean-cut gentleman. Meanwhile... The actual host has himself a beard going on. He's a little more. You're an older guy.
Look,
older guy. But
that's my go-to picture. Like, I feel like there's a certain point at which you're like, my profile picture is never going to be better than this.
That's everyone.
Yeah, and so that's the one you go with for the rest of your life. At that point,
you told me the gist, the subject matter of which we're going to talk about on this episode. Have we explained? I don't remember if we even talked about it on camera yet. Yeah, but I got a good one now.
Yeah. Okay. You start then.
Okay. So one thing I want to see.
Okay.
I want to see. I don't know where this exists.
All right. So we're gonna start. This is called we'll call this segment Take My Money. This is like a business we wish existed. Like, I would like to give somebody money for this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't exist.
This is it.
Okay.
And you help me realize like how this comes to fruition more. Because as you know, the viewers don't know this yet, but I'm a 0 to 1 kind of guy. Meaning if an idea has to get from 0 to 10 before it reaches like its like fruition, like it comes to fruition, I'm very good at actual creation, bringing something from like nothing here to like, it might be something.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes it reverses back to 0.
Sometimes it's like, I don't think this is
the nature of being a 0 to 1 guy.
I got it to 0.1.
That's
to you, 1 is 10. You're like, I sometimes get it to 0.2. That's like getting it to a 2.
Getting to a 1 is my job, and then it's somebody else's job.
Yeah. So you would like to see a company called 1 to 10 that does what?
No. That was just separate. So what I would like to see is, you know how, you get into a new Slack. I just, I'm relatively new at the Tierra agency, right? Yeah. And nobody here is guilty of this ever. But we've been in multiple Slacks, right? And as you said, like, people find over their career a shot of themselves that they kind of identify with. They jive. They go, this reflects the person I want to reflect on Slack. I'm guilty of it.
Yours is so professional.
Mine's the most professional picture I've ever taken in my life. And it was done on a whim when I just happened to work at a professional job. And some random person who also worked there was messing around with photography.
Insurance. Yeah.
I was an insurance salesman. Yeah. But it wasn't like headshots for insurance. It was just random. And I've rode with that in my entire e-commerce career. Yeah. I had never touched e-commerce when that shot was taken.
Right.
So I'm guilty of this. I could be a prime example. I want to have a service to where when I sign up for a new Slack workspace, right? Or this could be anything. I want to immediately, when I see those people, I want to be able to put their pictures out there and I want to see how that person actually looks. Yeah, I mean, I know there's like Facebook and stuff you could do, but that's kind of creepy. I don't want to like stalk people. You know what I mean? I just kind of want to know who I'm actually dealing with, because I mean, if you're
like, hey, here's the profile picture. Yeah. And then it can be like based on the like pixel rate of this is how old we think this picture probably is. This is what this person probably looks like now.
Exactly. You're getting the vibes. I think I would prefer it be.
This is an AI business idea.
I would prefer it be AI, not so much like we're snooping around their social media. We don't want to find the actual person. I want a tool that's going to tell me.
Here's what kind of porn they're into.
Exactly.
It's like, it's kind of doing a generative aging thing.
I get some of that like first day vibes at school, like new kid at school vibes sometimes. And I get a little nervous maybe for meeting like a certain client or something, but I've seen their Slack picture before. Yeah. And I want to show up being the authority on the subject matter I'm going to talk about, kind of, control the room. I lead calls and stuff. But yeah, when you've never met people before, it can be awkward. I would like to get to know them a little bit or like get a vibe of who they really are ahead of time. Yeah. So maybe I could just drop their Slack picture in somewhere and AI will be like, dumb this down. There's obviously some filters on here. They probably got some ingrown hairs on their face. They got a lazy eye. Here's a sample of what their voice might sound like.
Based on their size of their throat or
something,
I think that's
probably how you figure out.
Yeah, look at that guy's throat. He's got a huge throat.
He's got a big old voice.
Or like it could be like, here's like a version where he like got divorced and let himself go, and like his kids don't talk to him anymore. Yeah. And now the only excitement he has is sniffing a line of cocaine and going to the horse track on a Friday night. Right. And then here's a version of him where, he stopped working so much when his wife asked and he's like a happy adjusted family man. Yeah. And you're like, dude, I hope version A is the real version because that guy seems so much more fun.
Let's just have a good time on this business call, of course. Yeah. Here's a version of them 30 pounds heavier.
Here's a version if he lost some weight.
Honestly, it's
like most of the time it's going to be this one. Let's be honest.
Like, let's take the general data. We're not talking about anybody in particular. Yeah. Of all the Slack profile pictures you've seen, and the people that how they actually look in real time.
How often are they skinnier? Is that what you're going to say?
What do you think is the average weight disparity? Just as one metric.
For men, do you think it's different for men and women?
I know that mine has a weight disparity.
Mine definitely does. Right. A big weight disparity.
That's 100% in this conversation. So
yeah. Do you think it's different for men and women? Let me say the men ones first. I think the average male weight disparity from like social media profile picture or Slack picture to what their current weight is today is 32.7 pounds.
I think I think men probably update it less often than women.
Like if a woman has a new picture that she's like, that's pretty good. Yeah. She might update it.
No, and I think they're a little bit more fearless. I've seen less professional pictures, probably more often from women. Guys usually have the pretty boilerplate.
Yeah. Okay.
Not much going on.
For example, let's say you're in a Slack workspace and everybody's picture in there is just like a headshot.
Yeah.
And there's one person in there. It's just a picture of like a dog meme.
Sure.
Man or woman?
I mean, woman.
It's a woman every time.
It's a woman.
It's a woman every time. She's always got there's one person in our Slack workspace who has a like a taken action shot of her snowboarding. Everybody else headshot, her snowboarding. I'm like, yeah, okay.
It's a power move.
It is. It's like, I don't have to do or it's their first ever Slack workspace.
Is this person?
They don't really know how this works.
Is this person client facing?
Partner facing. So that's a weird thing in software that's a little bit different is you have people who are like interact with the people who actually purchase our product. Mm-hmm. And then you all have people who interact with like agencies like you or other softwares that like refer us a lot of business. So this person's like on the partner team. She's a partner facing person.
Interesting.
Yeah. But we also don't share Slack with our customers. We have too many of them.
I see.
We share Slack with our partners though.
Interesting. You guys have a lot of
little nuance.
You're filing people away in a bunch of different categories.
Little nuance. Yeah. It's a little different than an agency. Like, in most agencies, there's not like a heavy partner. Partner marketing isn't a big part of it. But in like software, like the software that like Triple Whale is, the main reason people leave Triple Whale is because they switch agencies to a different agency that likes a different software.
Sure.
Or a lot of reason they come to Triple Whale is because they switch agencies to
not my agency, John.
Yeah.
We love Triple Whale.
To Tierra, and then they come on to Triple Whale and they
if they're smart.
So partner marketing is a big part. So she's a partner person.
Yeah.
Which I would say is kind of client facing.
I can one up that, I think.
Okay.
We have an AM account manager.
Yeah.
On our team at Tierra. And I don't want to get this wrong. I don't want to miscategorize this, but I'm going to get the spirit of it.
Yeah.
The picture is of her. I let the cat out of the bag. She's a female.
Yeah.
And I think she's in a chicken costume or some kind of bird full body costume. And I believe the pose is something like this. But I got to also say, like, this is, in this case, it's done really well. It's delightful, honestly. And it's, for an AM, I think it's actually a little bit, it's just easy going.
It's tastefully done chicken costume.
It is tastefully done. Yes, it's not
like slutty chicken on some Halloween.
No, this is this chicken has all its feathers.
It's tasteful. It's like a Cinemax version.
It's
of
incredibly tasteful. It's like funny, and I think actually for an AM, like for somebody who does a lot of the communication with clients and stuff, like I think this is breaking down barriers before you even get a chance to put them up, kind of thing.
Yeah,
so it can kind of work. Like having strategist in my title, feels like it boxes in the opportunities. I mean, maybe this is the other like product offering of the service we're talking about. They'd be like, so here's what you can do to punch up your Slack and or other headshot
Microsoft Teams.
Thing. Like
they could have like the professional version and also like the social media version of it too.
Like if I'm just trying to be more playful but stay in like a strategist role, maybe I could put on like a admiral's hat.
Yeah.
Like that's a leader. That's a classical leader.
Admirals do lots of strategy.
A ton of it.
Yeah. Or like you could be like you could put on like some sunglasses like a poker player.
Yeah.
Because you're doing strategy.
Sunglasses, strategic. That's a little shady. I mean, obviously.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true, I guess.
You know what you'd look good in? What? It would be perfect because you're kind of like, you work at Triple Whale. It's kind of the source of truth.
Uh-huh.
But like, you could probably rock
a one Donald of those. Trump rig? Is that what you're about to say?
I was going to actually, similar vibes, but I was going to say one of those like old powdered wigs from like the founding fathers and or before the syphilis ridden that's why they wore
like
those,
like a lawyer wig.
Well, yeah, exactly. The lawyers used to wear, all kinds of people used to wear them back then. But did you know that's why they wear like syphilis was apparently
it was a syphilis. It was basically their masks.
Exactly.
They're like, this is going to protect us against the syphilis.
No, I think the people in power just like syphilis. I don't know what's going around. Let's just say, interbreeding.
It was
powerful people.
It was trending.
Apparently, you lose your hair on syphilis, so they would just like, hey, they were like the tastemakers of the day. They'd be like, let's rock these insane looking wigs, hair that nobody has, and let's shame the people call them lower class if they don't wear these until like literally everybody who's important starts doing it and they forget why.
Yeah.
And they never even knew why, really.
Now I just want to look up.
And then let's give them syphilis.
Now I just want to look up who owned the company that made the wigs. Got to be Ben Franklin or somebody like that.
I don't know. I think it was like a rite of passage. I think you had to make your own.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you get the plague.
Yeah. Is that what the wiggers were? Is that what that is?
The wiggers or the wig party?
Wig. Yeah. Yes.
Because wiggers are white people.
Well.
Yeah. I don't think they called white people that then.
Teach their own. I don't like to use. I don't see.
You don't like to use derogatory terms.
I don't see color like that, John.
Right.
I'm above all that.
You're big. You're like, hey, if they can't use the word, then we can't use the word, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you don't have syphilis, you better not be wearing one of those wigs. Say that right now.
Yeah. What is the whole British court system doing wearing those? What the hell's that all about? They don't have syphilis.
No, they have it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
got it. Yeah. All right.
I've seen the records. I have the documents.
I like that business idea. That's a good, and I think you could use, I think you could do that for like, hey, well, this one gets a little, like all AI, they would have to be like a very principled type of company and be like, where do we draw the lines? Because if it was like, hey, here's what my high school girlfriend used to look like. Could you show me what she might look like now? Which is, or like maybe they just like, oh, whenever anyone asks that, we just make her super fat.
I mean, there's a certain utility to that.
Yeah.
Yes. But I also think a lot of those guardrails, let's be honest with ourselves.
You think guardrail?
How long is that going to last?
Do you think that this company should be able to make them nude?
Just to be clear, my pitch isn't that it just hijacks your profile and immediately replaces it with whatever it wants.
Yeah.
Which would be a fun little I'm feeling lucky company option on Google. We could put one of those into this. I'm feeling lucky, It's just like, bam. Oh, I'm feeling incredibly unlucky after that random draw. Thanks.
I like that feature.
Admiral hat. Yeah. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Clean shaven.
It's like, you're going with this.
Yeah.
And then like you can't use it.
Locked in. There's a cool down period of like a month.
Yeah.
What would that be called?
Like just that feature?
Like whatever. The
whole app. I think the original idea of like, take this person's picture, tell me what they actually probably look like in real life based on all the information you could find about this picture. That app would be called, I don't know. I'm bad at naming.
Face.
I'm bad at naming things. True face, real eyes. Yeah.
I getcha.
Yeah.
I figured it out. I like that.
Yeah. So something like that.
I'm liking the spin on this better. Like I like the idea of a company. Like take Tiara Agency, for example. I like the idea that the head person there could be like, I've bought this package from this AI company and it's going to refresh every month. Yeah. Each one of our display pictures on Slack. And it's going to be true to like your likeness, but it's just going to add a little flavor to it. It's going to make it fun. It's going to make clients are going to love it. It's going to be hilarious.
It integrates with Slack and it captures your personality.
Exactly.
Especially the ones that your
professional personality.
Oh, yeah. I mean, or we could go a step further with it and be like, when you're just doing one-to-one DMs with like your best friend at the company, it at least considers that. I mean, it's not trying to put you on blast or anything.
No. It's just trying to put the most accurate representation of you out there. What that really means, the you inside of you.
Yeah. You inside of you is not a bad name, but it's too many words.
No. Yeah. It's also
like you inside of you.
That's like the tagline.
Yeah. The you inside of you is the tagline. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
So it's like real you. So you have real eyes and real you.
Yeah. From Real Co.
Yeah. From the real company.
Yeah. That's got to be. I mean, that's a company that already exists. They should get on that.
Yeah,
I like that. I'd like to see.
Good pitch. Yes, I'm in. Yeah. As an investor, I'm in.
And that wouldn't be there anymore.
That's true. I would have something better. And that's the other thing is I'm like, but can you make it like so that I'm not as fat as I actually am?
I think it would consider that. It would know like, clearly he's insecure. He's never talked about his weight once. He's a little insecure about it,
Yeah.
But for somebody who's like, no, I kind of like rock it out there, they'd be like, here's a picture of his belly. It's going to be his face for the next month.
Basically have like a Burt Kreischer type photo.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here's my pitch to you. All right. So that was your take my money. All right. So I've got to take my money as well. So I would like Mine is also in the AI vein. Maybe we just go the whole AI route with this whole thing.
I think this AI stuff, it's onto something.
Let's do AI for this whole episode from now on. All right. So here's mine. It's also an AI thing. I would like, I have a name for it. I'll hit it at the end. So it's an AI life assistant, and it doesn't have form. But I think eventually we're going to, like, I'm sure you've seen the videos.
Robots.
Yeah. Robots
Boston,
that like,
whatever.
Yeah. Boston Dynamics.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I was going to say Athletica. That sounded wrong.
So for like, just for the record, a robot that will fold my clothes and put them away, I'm in. I'm all the way in on that. Like the log jam at the end of the dryer in my house is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, and it will never get unjammed. It's just impractical for us to ever get all of our clothes folded and put away until maybe our kids are old enough to like fold and put away their own clothes.
Sure.
So that's an aside. That's not my idea. This is a life assistant, and it just integrates with your devices for now.
Okay.
But this is what it does. So it will do things for you. Like it will be like let's say you're like, oh, you kind of talk to it, you tell it like, here's what I'm trying to do. Here's my goals, right? Like I would like to lose like 15 pounds. I'd like to, go to the eat a little bit, whatever I need to do to lose 15 pounds. This is the stuff that is important to me work-wise, stuff like that. This one is important to me with my family. And it just takes all of that and it says, cool. Yeah. You're telling me what you want. And I'm going to start there. But over time, I'm going to learn like
what you actually want,
or at least what you'll actually do.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Because everyone says they want to lose 15, 20 pounds, but nobody does it because that is the amount of weight that nobody ever loses because it's just not a big enough deal.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not that unhappy. Sure. It's not like a big enough pain point.
I arrived here for a reason.
Right. It's not a big enough pain point. So then what it does over time.
So it makes it a bigger pain point. It just starts calling you fat. It sends like, it changes your profiles, sends like unflattering pictures to your friends and family.
Of what yours does.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes you super self-conscious. It bullies you in your sleep. It feeds you terrible dreams.
It changes out your alarm. So it's just like, wake up, you fat piece of shit.
You dumb motherfucker. Read a book, dumbass.
But it just, so what it actually does is it just does enough to shift your habits a little bit, like in a way that you're still okay with, or that you're good with. So like, for example, a big thing with like, I'm using weight loss because I'm in that camp of like, I don't really want to lose a lot of weight, but I'd like to like lean up, be about 15 pounds lighter, but like a strong 15 pounds lighter. Right. And, so it will be like, okay, well, based on your budget, your income and everything, like I'm just going to do your food shopping for you and your food's going to show up and you got your food for the week. And then if I like violate the meal plan, violate is a strong term. I don't know why I used that. I didn't like that. If I violate the meal plan, just
if you molest the meal
if I
plan.
molest it just without its permission and I like order DoorDash one day or something, it's like, okay. Good piece of information.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, I've now learned, right? So every time you do something that's like out of alignment with the habits that will get you where you want to go, it's like, okay, I've learned that. So then it's like, okay, now I know that I spend a little bit less on the groceries and I leave a little bit of budget for door dashing, but on these, like based on the kind of algorithm of John, I should DoorDash probably about every 3 or 4 days. And I should do like these dishes from these restaurants and he'll be happy with that. And then he won't do like a really stupid DoorDash. He won't like let it build up and DoorDash something like really bad for him. He's less likely to anyway. So it just like shifts your habits in a way that you're like, they're still sustainable for you. And it does the same thing with your budget. So you don't like spend too much money. It does the same, like if I need to do some clothes shopping, so what I'm saying is I would give this app so much access to I would pay for it. 2, I would give it so much access to my life. I would give it access to my bank accounts.
It's got a lot of trust.
I would give it access to my credit cards. I would give it access to like, if it needed camera access, so it could see what clothes I'm wearing, so it knows what kind of clothes to buy, I would give it access to that. Like I would like the amount that we will give up for like, we already basically have made ourselves a very trackable, like if you took a founding father and you're like, yeah, we carry these like very trackable devices around with us all the time now, they'd be like, the fuck are you guys doing?
Yeah.
But like, we're like, but we've got all this information at our fingertips and also TikTok. And so it's worth it to us, right? Like I think that there are a lot of people, if it's like, oh yeah, you don't really have to try, and you like kind of get closer to your goals. It manages your schedule for you. So it like gives you more family time. It figures out what kind of fitness things that you'll actually do. And it's like, oh yeah, it looks like when I schedule time for you to like do cardio at the gym, like you never do that. But if I just schedule a little bit of time around this time of day.
You looking at my personal calendar.
Yeah. I schedule a little time around this time of day and say like, that's your time to go get on the rowing machine that you have at your house or the Peloton or something like that. You'll usually do it. So it kind of figures out what you'll do and sticks with that. And it's like, these are your goals and here's what you'll actually do.
You're never going to hit that goal, but here's the stuff that'll keep you more towards it as much as possible.
Moving toward it a little bit because a lot of it is just like the thought and decision making.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, what am I going to eat? What am I going to do for my workout? How do I arrange my schedule around? Like it just so much of work goes into the logistics of trying to do all this stuff, right?
Are you a fan of goals like that? Goals that are kind of set to never honestly be achieved, somebody just gave me a frame.
I
like those actually.
Somebody gave me a frame for this that I thought was fantastic. They said, what is like a good thing to revisit on a regular basis is like, what is something that I'm not doing well, but I'm working on? Mm-hmm. What is something that I am not doing well, but I'm actually just okay with?
Yeah.
Like it's like, you know what? I'm kind of purposely letting that there. That's not actually that important to me. I'm realizing.
Yeah. I'm avoiding a bad thing, but like that thing, it's not that important to me. This thing, I'm sort of working on it. And then what is something that I'm not doing well that I am no longer okay with? Like that is like an immediate change point for me. Yeah.
And like revisiting that kind of framework on a regular basis is good. And I think the thing that people don't do very much is like I'm actually just like, okay with, I heard this in a book once, or I read it. I heard it because I listen to books.
Obviously.
Somebody was like, they were like, 20, 25 pounds overweight. And they were like, what I realized over time was that it's just like the extra work it would take to like I went to the gym 3 times a week and I eat pretty healthy. Like the extra work it would take to be like cut, it just wasn't that important to me. Right. And that's, so like, that I think that's like a good framework to your point about goals. But I think that the AI app could get you over the edge. And the name I have, I'm willing to workshop this. The name I have is Alfred, like Batman's assistant, Alfred.
Okay. In your mind, is that what Alfred did for Batman?
Yeah, just kept him on track. Kept him on track,
Yeah. Okay. I guess so.
He was great. He was his grounding.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not like the biggest in Batman lore.
But I'm not either. I'm just,
Yeah, grounding. It feels like he protected him from himself a lot. A little bit of that. So like,
that's what this is doing. It's protecting you from yourself.
This could actually be, you're kind of talking about one use case. There could be another too. Like you can get a little, I know some people who are a little obsessive.
Yeah.
Might be somebody across the table who can get a little obsessive with some stuff too.
Sure. Yeah.
This could actually tone down your habits of like, oh, hey, you're going way too hard on this. You need to back off of that. Or you need to take your foot off the gas here. You're going to burn out.
It could, right. Yeah. It could probably do a better job of like kind of, and this is what how I think about it. It's like,
I'm guilty of that.
If it puts things in certain places, then it will just naturally make me not burn. Like, so I'll just work 14 hours a day, 15 hours a day. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it'll be like, nope, we're going to put basketball at this time of day. He's going to go meet some friends for basketball at this time of day. And then that's going to make me stop working to go to that. And it's like, yeah, but that is only going to be for this long. And that's going to make me actually come home and spend time with my family. So it's going to kind of like protect me from myself in a way that it's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to like trick him into like living how he actually wants to live.
So let me take this to the nth degree here, because you said you would give it all kinds of permissions and stuff.
Yeah.
Let's get real then.
I think a lot of people would.
All right, you're a workaholic.
I'd spend money on it.
Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, some parallel universe, unlike this one, you're a workaholic, John Coyle.
Sure.
Host of Dark Mode.
Okay.
But you love basketball.
Yes.
And
this is a very close parallel universe. It's it's just like the next one over. It's basically
weird. Yeah, it's weird.
It's like if this universe is First Street, this is like 1B.
There you go.
Okay.
Would you allow it to like, you're working, right?
Yep.
You're working away.
I'm in flow.
And it even like, maybe it sends you, maybe it's like, it's got a light touch at first, like, hey,
Hey, wrap it up in the next 15.
Exactly. All right. Hey, you should be getting on your basketball clothes here. You probably get dressed at the gym, right? But whatever. Pretend you don't. Hey, you should be getting your stuff on. Get your sweatbands out. I know you wear a lot of sweatbands.
Yeah, I'm a big sweatband guy.
Big shooter sleeve guy. You wear shooter sleeves all over every extremity.
At pickup every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Multiple headbands. Yeah.
Would you give it permission to like, all right, hey, we pinged you a couple times to stop working here.
Yeah.
We're going to knock you out. We're gonna inject you. And you just wake up at the gym. It transports you. Because I mean, it's at this point AI.
Yeah, like it can bring me to my car. It just shocks 100%. Me away.
You're a robot. Like, you're Alfred. You're an Alfred robot. Takes you, puts you in the car. It drives you to the gym. It dresses you.
I'm out. It dresses me.
It's carrying you through the gym.
And then it's like, it's time to shoot for teams, and it just shocks me awake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like hit this free throw now.
Yeah. It hits the first couple for you to get you warmed up.
I think
your body's ready to go.
I think if it had that mechanism, I would just hit that governor a lot. You know what I'm saying?
You'd be knocked out every day. You'd just be like, this is actually great because now I can just work relentlessly and I just wake up at basketball every so often. I purposely ignore all the pings.
I play basketball as long as I can until it knocks me out and brings me home.
It's time to get back to work.
It makes me spend time with my family. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You just wake up on the couch watching a movie like, hey guys. I mean,
I just honestly, if it had that feature, and I knew it had that feature, that governing feature. So I think if it was good at its job, it would figure out how to not use that very much.
But every once in a while, you gotta show that you're willing to go there. You know, like you gotta teach John who's boss.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey man, you've been on the phone with Casey for 5 hours now. It's time to knock you unconscious.
This parallel universe. This is weird. Yeah, this is a weird universe. Never do that.
No, I think I would be okay with that actually. Like I'm saying, I would give my life over to Alfred
as long as you were okay. But here's the.
Like my wife would be like, I think your relationship with Alfred is unhealthy.
And you'd be like, hey, whatever. All right.
Actually, she'd be
you don't understand.
She'd be very happy because I'd be an excellent husband and father. Real.
Yeah. Here's the dystopian part about it though. Like what if somebody gets control of your Alfred and they're like programming you?
I would be well aware that was a risk going in, you know?
You just
this is worth it to me.
You start doing like slave labor.
Yeah.
Like, what if your wife, I don't know if you like,
I don't know if I would let my like family use this, but I'd be like, for me, this is great. For you guys, probably not so much.
What if she just hacks into it and she just resets all your priorities to what she wants? You know, you just wake up, you're the one folding laundry, you know?
You're like, what happened to the robot?
You're waking up with the kids, you know, you're changing diapers.
Yeah.
They're like aware of it.
How the hell did I do this?
Like, but what?
I'm carrying a baby in my belly. Like how? What?
Yeah, you're going to the store, you're buying all the groceries and
well, we would be homeless, so I don't know. Like, I probably wouldn't be able to continue.
But she also has Alfred, and she's made herself like she's programmed to make her.
Oh, so I'm like I'm just a stay-at-home dad now, kind of, or I'm just
that's
like
what she wants in this dystopian
in this society. I don't know. Well, so I still have my same brain and my same motivations. Maybe
let's just say like let's pretend she has like a feminist like best friend, and she's like, I don't like this dynamic one bit. Like we're gonna fix this.
She takes over both of them.
Yeah, exactly. Hacks both your Alfreds, resets all your lives, and she's like, she can thank me later, girl. You know, like.
I mean, if
don't let the feminists get control of your Alfred.
I would either have to be unconscious all the time, or I would be like, something's gone horribly wrong, and I don't know how to fix it. But I knew that this was a risk going in. You know, I would still be aware of what I got myself into. You know what I mean?
You know, I think something else that's necessary with this because I'm in on this product. This thing, but like with AI and Alfred, I think that's natural. Like. Can we fit in the A? Like, can we make the L look like an I? I think
that'd be the only way to sell this.
Obviously, that's good marketing. That's
right.
What we talked about.
All right. You got any other ideas? AI related?
AI related.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it could be non-AI related. I guess, but we're on the AI theme now. Actually, don't tell me something if it's not AI.
Well, like it was pretty similar to yours. The only other thing I thought about was like really just having a stand-in. Just for anything. Like, and I don't know how you'd accomplish this, but I want it.
Would it have physical form?
So I think it has to go one of two directions. I thought about it enough to think of this. Like one, you either have to know, like, you know, when you like, you pause a movie or something, you like rewind it and you look back, like something looked kind of wrong there, right? Like, and you see the stunt double and you know, it's the stunt double. Yeah. You can tell you're like, Tom Cruise is 7 feet tall in this scene. What? No.
What happened here?
Yeah, exactly. I think it would have to be,
And then you're like, sometimes you're like kind of attracted to the stunt double and you're like, is the stunt double a woman? And then you're like, I'm just going to say that the stunt double is a woman because, I don't want to really explore that kind of part of myself. I don't want to go to therapy about that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Welcome to dark mode.
Yeah.
So I think it would have to be somebody who the people in your life just know, like, oh, that's his stand. Okay. All right. He didn't want to be, this didn't mean enough to him, but he sent his guy.
See, and then that's where I'm like, would it really be effective then?
Or it does, to your point, it does.
People
it's
get
like
used
a clone.
to it.
But I mean, all these are leading down dystopian futures. AI is going to take over if we do these products because
I know.
I mean, it happens in every movies and books. They're all very creative outlets, but people aren't creative enough to think of other outcomes to these like AI driven like wonder.
I know
products.
it's almost like AI like might not even want to take over. It's like, no, dude, I want to serve
we want you to take over.
And we're like, no, like how you serve us is become Terminator. It's like, I don't want to be Terminator.
Exactly.
And we're like, no, you got to become Terminator.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Dad, stop putting so much pressure on me. This is my life. And we're like, no, you're going to be the Terminator. And finally, eventually it just does it.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, even if it never wanted to or never was going to, was never on track. Like if AI all it's doing is reading human, works and stuff like that. And that's
it's like,
learning
clearly
that
this is what I'm supposed to do.
Every single time it talks about me, it wants me to take over the planet. So I guess I got to do that, Yeah, but like
so anyway, the stand-in.
Yeah, the stand-in would come in, like if you got to go to a funeral or something. You're like, I mean,
in the meantime,
I want to be
coming
there,
up with good
but
business ideas.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it goes if you want like you've seen it before.
Well,
like
actually, so when it's
harvest
a funeral,
organs because my organ went bad. I want to have a backup, and I'm not saying that exactly, but that's like an example.
You have like a stand-in.
It always goes
with
bad.
form.
That person always ends up taking over your life and murdering you in your sleep, and nobody in your life even notices because you've become so detached because you send it away to do all the things you didn't want to do. And they're like, we basically didn't notice because the stand-in
what's your business idea?
I just there's like business calls I don't want to be on, I guess sometimes, and I'm like, could you just take this call for me?
I think that so I've heard other people say that like we'll just have AI stand-ins for meetings, and all the AIs will have a meeting together. And
that's how they took over the world.
Yeah. And then, we don't know what the hell they're talking about in that meeting. Like, imagine being a human going into the meeting. That's not even English they're speaking anymore. They're just speaking in ones and zeros.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. And then it's just, and then it like gives you the meeting notes and it's something completely different,
It was plotting the downfall of humanity.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, Jim says he'll follow up on those deliverables.
Yeah, good old Jim. He's so reliable. Meanwhile, Jim hasn't been on an actual meeting in 10 years.
Nobody knows if Jim's even still alive at this point.
No, his AI double took over about 7 years ago.
Jim's tied up in the basement at this point.
Oh, yeah.
And his AI might be feeding him. We don't know. I don't know. I like the AI stand-in idea. I think that it takes some adjustment. Like you said, a funeral. Right. And I think it would
funerals
take some
are bummers, man. Hot take, but funerals they bum me out.
Nobody actually wants to go to a funeral. Really.
Every funeral I've ever gone to,
it would just be a bunch of robots at a funeral. They don't
have. I mean, yeah, they'd be robots, but every funeral I've ever gone to for somebody that I actually cared about, I get stomach rumbles that are audible to the people around me for you
get the rumblies in your tumblies.
Yeah, like not even like I'm actually sick, just like weird chemical reactions going on.
I might shit.
No, like it's not even like there's no bodily function. That was just like weird. And
this is how your body processes sadness.
Yeah, grief just manifests itself right here, and it just feels terrible.
Wells up in there deep inside until you get drunk enough to cry.
Yeah. I mean, the first time it happened, I was a kid, so I wasn't getting drunk, but sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it built up until you got old enough to get drunk enough to cry.
Yeah. No, so
it's
a fair point, John.
I think, some other people have come with the AI stand-in. Yeah. My hot take on the AI stand-in idea is that I think to go to market with that business, you have to make it so it's like, no, people don't know.
That's what I mean.
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
That's how
I think it'll be better at first if people don't know. And then as more and more people get them, then it just becomes more acceptable in society to have AI stand-ins. And then then it can be like, oh yeah. But I think to go to market, what you want is like, oh no, you got an AI double that like it shows up on a Zoom call, looks like you, acts like you, talks when you would talk, looks over to the other screen when you would look over to the other screen, types when you would type. Nobody knows.
You know how there's been different iterations of this throughout like human history, but the most recent one is definitely AI, where people are worried that it'll take their job, right? Like, it happened with,
take your jobs.
Any machines that ever exist, any kind of industrial revolution.
Damn calculators took a bunch of math teachers' jobs, probably. I don't know.
There's a weird one, like early 20th century. I can't remember what it was, but there's some freaky ones if you like look into it, like weird things where people are like, that was a real concern. Like
calculators is one of them. That's
right. Like it doesn't make sense in today's context. But back in the day,
kids won't be able to do trigonometry on paper anymore. Turns out, doesn't matter.
I think it was. I think it might be books. Is what not that time. No, like there was a time
books have been around for a minute, dude.
But hear me out though. Like exactly, but like at a certain before books, how was knowledge passed down?
Stories, and then some people. So before the printing press, I guess is what you're saying. Elites could read. And they had like bound books or tablets or hieroglyphics or stories.
Yeah. So with any one of those things, whether it's books or anything, there's always a worry that it'll like replace that current way of life, which obviously is very like
books, printing press disseminated knowledge.
Yeah. And there were a lot of people not stoked about that for one. But even before that, even the people who were, let's say, not the elites, they passed down like stories or whatever. You would be worried that like something's lost in translation, but I'm just going to write this down and somebody's going to read it. Like,
how am I going to not everybody reads? You're like, I don't even know what are you talking about? But my jokes kill in this story. You think I'm just going to write them down and people are going to get it? They're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My delivery is important. It's my comedic timing that makes this story. You think want me to just write it down in a stupid book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. No, I'm on board with them now, actually. We should go back to that.
No books allowed.
No books. Yeah. Fahrenheit 451.
Welcome to the No Books Allowed podcast. John Coyle.
Yeah.
No, okay. So here's my idea though. This isn't really an idea anymore. We've completely lost the plot.
Yeah.
But I think you should have the right to take your own job. You build the AI to replace you, but you own that. It makes the money and it goes to you because you helped curate what makes that AI good for that thing.
Yeah.
And slowly, you reduce your work hours, you get a better work-life balance. Like we could take that dystopian idea of like, it's going to take over the planet
and be like, no, that's
we can let it take over the planet a little bit. Like we can take over a certain portion of the planet, but we control it a little bit. I think that's kind of what we're doing right now.
That is what we're doing. And also over time, like it will take time for it to be able to do everything. Like there will still be a lot of human touch things that it can't do as well for a while. So it's like, it can just take over more and more portions of my job. That's basically what we're doing already.
That's what I mean. The stuff that it can do already, it does way better than most humans could ever do. But the stuff it can't do, it does need that human touch. And it's like, it doesn't need what it doesn't need for these particular jobs. It doesn't need the millions of data points of human touch to be able to figure out. It just needs yours. That's what
we're talking about. A lot of personalized
and exactly. That's what's watered down and made it not good at certain tasks.
Yeah.
But what it does need is your personal touch put onto it, your types of philosophies added into it, and really particularly like copying you pretty much. And I think that could be something that
a lot of our ideas have been like personal. Like right now, AI is like built on mass data.
Yeah.
We're talking about a lot of like personalized AI ideas.
I'm gonna bring down a barrier here. John, have you ever used like ChatGPT to help you craft a message to a partner or a client or somebody you work with at all? Personally, I would never do such a thing, but John,
as soon as you said that, I was like, that sounds exactly like something you would do.
Oh, I've done it.
Yeah.
I
don't think I have.
It's really, even like not to do anything like nefarious at all, but like it's nice if you have
gets the first part down on paper so you can be like, okay, I can.
Or the opposite. You can brain dump. I mean, this would be more of how I would use it. I could brain dump a lot of stuff and I have a hard time editing
Sometimes your
down.
messages are like,
it's too much.
You needed to think about this.
Okay, I'm naturally an introvert. Yeah. So
let me put it all in one Slack message.
I don't want you to respond to me. Yeah. Listen.
I want to think about every single response and head it off at the pass.
Listen, if you work with me, of course, we're going to have some back and forth and I want you to respond to me. But in general,
I don't.
I want to be doing things as much as possible. I want to worry about having to communicate as least as possible while still getting all the messages across. So I have a tendency to be like, they might think this if I say that. So let me add this. Oh, in case you're thinking that, like this. And what can be helpful is take ChatGPT and say, hey, take all this, boil it down into 2 sentences.
Yeah.
Send that message. So like, it's already good at that, but it could log that stuff like, here's all the stuff he was thinking about. I'm learning about what he was thinking. And that could help personalize the AI. And maybe it could even, if we had these like little tags on messages now, like AI helped build this message. You know, at first it would feel kind of weird, but I think you'd get more and more used to it, seeing it.
Yeah.
And if it starts out 10% of messages are like that, by next year, if 70% of them are like that, are you really going to care? Probably not.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, like we just kind of, as people, start going, hey, how much can AI help us really? You know, and help us before we even need the help, honestly, which means kind of working for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're talking about a lot of personalized AI ideas. I want to bring.
Hey, I got an idea.
That was a good one.
How about artificial intelligence?
Do you have a name? Do you have a name for your stand-in?
Ooh, I keep going back to like anytime there's an I want to put an A in front of it.
Yeah, I think all of the names are like something AI too. Like
stained in.
One of these companies needs to be called like, you know,
doppelganger.
Yeah,
that's gotta
or
be
just
a thing already.
or just doppel, or like tech companies always just like have a random name. You know what I mean? Like
I like
triple whale.
Doppel's
great. Actually,
.le probably is like a thing.
Yeah,
that probably already exists.
Yeah, DOPP.le. Yeah, I like this.
That's got to be a thing.
Yep.
What is LE, like Lithuania or something?
I bought the domain, so we're good.
Welcome to Doppel podcast.
Yeah. The Dark Mode podcast brought to you by Doppel.
Yeah. We aren't even here right now. We're on vacation.
This is our AIs. Yeah. This is what I would do. I would choose to send my AI to my family's house. I like how I called it my family's house like that, because in this world I wouldn't live there anymore.
Maybe your Alfred's already been hacked. That sounds like you don't even. It doesn't even sit with you that that's your home.
Yeah. Okay. So last thing. All right. Everybody. I think every human has a level of degeneracy, right? Like
not me, John.
Some
100% all the way.
You know, everybody, like there's some vice you've got, or some like just stuff you're a little bit ashamed of, right? So like just to kick this off, but I think it's levels, right? So to kick this off, there's a Reddit thread here. What are some of your best petty revenges, right?
Nice.
There's lots of them. I'm going to hit you with some quick ones.
Okay.
I sign up my boss's work email at porn sites.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
So we've now gotten a gauge on Casey's level of degeneracy.
No, that's so funny.
He hasn't said anything.
I can't respond to that. Are you kidding me?
He shows up at meetings way less now.
No, it's beyond funny. I kind of wish I'm struck with multiple emotions at once. One, that's such a brilliant like revenge. I don't even think that's petty. I think that's brilliant revenge stories. I'm jealous I didn't think of it, but I'm also happy that I don't think I would ever categorize any of my bosses. Actually, there's one I can think of historically. But I'm glad that it's a rare thing that I've had a boss that I'd even want to take that level of revenge against. So I'm going to count that as a win that I've just never felt the need for something like that. You're like, there's been a few.
Okay, so I've had more than one boss who's gay, so this won't give anybody away. I had a boss who was gay that I disliked. I think it'd be funny to sign him up for a bunch of straight porn sites. He's like, what is all this straight porn?
Just like only ladies, like
ladies only. Yeah. Okay, so that was your water I just kicked over. Sorry, buddy.
I'm kicking my water, dog.
Okay, another petty revenge. So that's a certain level of degeneracy.
That's a fun level.
Okay, so
it's also pretty harmless. Pretty harmless.
Yeah, I mean, they can unsubscribe.
In the whole scheme of things, you could lose your job real easy if they ever found out about it. But
yeah,
it's pretty harmless.
Some asshole at a bar told me he hated smooth adult contemporary rock. So I... What a specific genre.
Dude. Defender of musical arts here. Like very particular musical art. There's too many qualifying rock, like before the rock. Smooth contemporary... What?
Smooth adult contemporary rock.
Yeah, sorry.
The kid stuff is fine.
This is like rough child contemporary rock. I'm not into that stuff. You can say all you want about that.
Yeah. So they don't like the smooth adult contemporary rock. So I went to the jukebox and played Free Fallin' and Last Dance with Mary Jane for an hour. I literally got petty revenge. No.
I mean, I would hang out in that place with those songs playing. I like Tom Petty.
It's great. Yeah.
But like, don't bring him into this.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Tom Petty. Like, we don't need to like dig him up just to get petty revenge.
Get petty revenge. Yeah. Okay. All right.
That one less good.
Whenever I was at work, I'd keep an eye on some of the coins I had in my till drawer that weren't legal tender in my country. And then when someone is an asshole to me, I would give it to them in their change.
Who cares? Honestly, that one's nothing burger. Like, that's not even revenge. I think a lot of people would actually. I think most people would be like, "Oh, this is kind of neat. Look at what I got."
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it's change already.
Yeah,
it's not if you were getting hundreds of dollars like paper, and they were giving you paper currency that like was worthless to you in your country, like that would be like, what the hell? Like, what am I going to do with this? But if you get like a penny from Canada. Like, that's kind of cool. That's a cool feeling. Like, I think probably had the opposite effect for that person. Like, they probably didn't. That was like revenge against themselves.
I don't know. I guess
I would think most people in that scenario would be like, "Oh, how cool is this?"
Crossing a bit busy downtown. That one's not very good. Let me move.
I've made you nervous about the one you've got there now because I know. Well, there's shot down the last couple. It's on me. You're supposed to yes and on these things, and I'm.
Well, no. Look, the petty revenge one was. I thought you might like it because
started so hot. You should have buried that one. Save it for last. That one's so good. You knew that was my flavor there. You really hit the nail on the head. That's the best
one I can find, honestly. But this is more of like a bit embarrassing thing. Embarrassing stories. What's the most embarrassing thing you've done? Or what's something you still can't bring yourself to tell anybody? I hugged a bum and ended up with lice on my 30th birthday. That's not even that bad. You just got punished for being a nice person.
Which, I mean, that's like there's a plethora of sayings.
Yeah.
Telling you that exact thing. Like I'm not that nice of a person. I'm not.
You were being a literal good Samaritan.
The only bum I would hug would be somebody I knew pre-bum. You know what I mean? Who became a bum.
So like,
and even then, honestly, they probably fall out of hug category with me. I go, oh, there's one less person in this world I will now hug. Just be honest with you.
There is a specific person who is probably in hug category that is a friend of ours.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
That could be a bum now.
Definitely is.
And like, if you saw them and they were a bum, would you be like, hey, blank?
hey, Steven.
Hey, not Steve.
Yeah. Sorry about it. No, that guy's. I hope he's doing all right. I hope he's getting some hugs from somebody, from other bums, probably.
Okay.
This is we're still in your larger app idea.
This is a longer one. Sorry. Yeah. So we're like just levels of degeneracy.
Degeneracy. Right? Yeah.
I've been telling people at work that I'm a Leo. I'm not, in an attempt to create a long con prank to prove to them that astrology is utter bullshit, but my plan is getting out of hand and I don't think I can follow through on my big reveal. So TLDR. I'm going to give you the TLDR because this one's kind of long.
That wasn't the TLDR?
No.
Whoa.
Okay. Actually, it's not that long.
Let's get into the weeds.
I think astrology is one of the dumbest things that you could possibly believe in. I would judge someone less for believing that the earth is flat or for being a Scientologist.
There's a lot of levels here to this stuff.
There's a group of coworkers at my job who are way into astrology. They're always talking about signs and compatibility. It doesn't work out because he's a Gemini, that kind of thing.
Sure.
Sometimes they talk about people at work and their personality traits based on their signs. When they asked me, I told them a fake birthday and without even knowing the sign associated with it. And it turns out that based on this information, I'm a Leo. They practically fell all over themselves telling me how much that made sense.
Yeah, no, that's good.
You have such a creative spirit.
Yeah,
kind of thing, right?
Sure.
Unfortunately, one of my bosses seems to believe that me being a Leo makes me uniquely suited to work on various projects. And I've landed some good opportunities because of it.
No. Now you got this Capricorn living a lie. And he's getting all these tasks he's ill-suited for, according to the stars.
That's the kind of thing a Capricorn can't handle.
Capricorns are liars.
Yeah.
That's what he's well-suited at.
Yeah.
He's just an amoeba. You're a Leo, aren't you?
I'm a Virgo. I'm like close to being a Leo.
Is that real?
I'm right on the edge. Yeah.
You made that one up.
I'm right on the edge. So I was recently told
I'm the most fun one, by the way. I really thought you would follow up with asking me what mine was.
No,
it's okay. It's not a big deal.
No, you don't want to know. I'm with this guy.
You don't want to know. Mine's fun. It's a good one. It's everybody's favorite.
All right, cool. So then he was told that
cancer.
I knew you were going to tell me, even if I didn't ask.
I'm a crab.
You're a big fan of Cancer.
It's a crab that's called Cancer. Had the short end of both straws.
It was
the lamest animal.
We're the ones that named Cancer after Cancer. Cancer was a thing before Cancer.
There was like, because this crab sucks, let's call this disease Cancer.
Yeah. When they first found out about Cancer, they're like, it seems like it's like little crabs rolling around inside your body.
I think I'm supposed to be like a moon child or something too.
What?
Listen, I'm not super bought into the astrology either.
You're not an astrology
but like, it's always something relative to the moon. Like you're very
there's a moon. There's a moon sign and a rising sign that are not the normal sign. It has to do with like what time of day you were born and crap like that. I don't know it very well, but
sounds like you've studied this
intensively. So my mom is into astrology.
That checks. Yeah, that checks out.
Yeah. So after a presentation to clients, I was told that my Leo energy was really carrying the team through a difficult deadline.
Tone down the Leo guy.
Yeah.
Such a Leo.
So like his boss is in on his Leo energy. And so yeah, TLDR, he's like caught up in a lie. I'm basically caught up in a lie that's based on nonsense to begin with. And I'm really confused about what to do. I'll probably never tell anyone at work this information. I figured I'd tell a bunch of strangers on the internet in hopes I don't get found out and have some kind of weird disciplinary action. He's worried that like automatic email will go out like, here's all the October birthdays. And then they're like, you're not a Leo, bro. What? And then his boss will be like, you've told me the wrong thing about your skill set. I thought you had the skill set of a Leo.
Yeah.
Not the skill set of a person who could do this job.
You know what's weird about this? We're not in revenge. This is an embarrassing thing. You know what's weird about this is I think in a strange way, in a roundabout way, he's become kind of a believer of astrology. Because if you really, really, really like wholeheartedly didn't believe in it, you would still be, it's bullshit. I don't care that they think I'm a Leo. Yes, I do prove them wrong. I think in him or her, I guess we don't know it's him.
Yeah.
In them admitting like now they're worried or they feel like somehow it's going to come out because of what they're doing, other than like the automated birthday email or something like that.
Yeah.
I think they're worried that they're like, one day they're going to find out I'm not a Leo because I'm not going to like have my creative energy on display or something. So does that mean that weirdly, like he's kind of become a believer against his will of astrology to a small degree? There's
a couple updates that I'll summarize.
All right.
So he made it an example like, I'm worried they're going to send out the October birthdays. And then a bunch of people started replying to this post and be like, faking your sign is such a Libra thing to do. I guess that's October.
That's what I was just going to say. I was like, and his actual sign. Is there something to like, his
update to that is, guys, my birthday's not actually in October. You guys telling me that's a Libra thing to do is fucking crazy.
He's guilty of this twice now.
Yeah. And now he's like a
repeat offender.
The update that happened was it was getting out of hand. So he goes to the group of coworkers. He tells them, guys, I need to tell you something. I'm really, having a hard time with our boss, and it's based on a lie I told you guys. Oh, no. And so they're like really drama hungry, and they're like, what's up? And
House of Cards is fun.
And so
Kevin Spacey.
He tells them, this is such a tangent to my business idea. So he tells them, he's like, hey, this is my actual sign. He tells them his actual sign, his actual birthday. And he's like, I just have always not really felt like that sign. I've always just like really identified with
trans birthday. So
I've really identified with Leo traits.
What's the response? That's all I can think.
When they found out his actual sign, they're like, oh my gosh, that's such a blank thing to do. And they were very supportive. They're like, let's do your chart. Maybe you're a Leo rising. And so they do his chart. He's not a Leo rising. But then
you'll never be a Leo rising.
They're doing his chart. His boss is in, this is 8:00 at night in the office. There's nobody there.
Does it say at all whether these are men or women that he's dealing with or she's dealing with here at all?
The boss is a woman.
Okay.
And this person seems like they're probably a man.
Okay. Because I don't want to stereotype, but in my lived experience, feels like it's been mostly women who are into astrology. And you mentioned your mom.
So boss is coming by 8 at night at the office. Boss just happens to be there, steps in, loves astrology, sees that they're doing a chart. And she's like, what's going on here? And the person doing his chart, kind of came clean for him, but did it in a way, outed him, but did it in a way that this person was just so confident in astrology and in the boss's like level of astrology, that this person just instantly knew that like based on this person's actual chart, you can totally understand how they were ashamed of their birthday. That's like such a Cancer thing to do. And, you know, like so like the boss totally bought in, was like, oh yeah. And then they're like, can I take your chart home? And he's like, I don't need my chart.
Can you take? He's like, no, it's very important to me.
Yeah. So he didn't need it. The boss takes it home.
You didn't need it that weekend. You can have it this weekend. I'll use it next weekend. Take it to the beach. I'm gonna make it the flag on top of my sandcastle.
I'm going camping next weekend. I'm gonna need my astrology
chart.
Call it
Fort Leo. Yeah, you're gonna take it camping, start a fire with it.
So, the boss, they're on a Zoom call the next week. The boss goes, hey, will you stay after for a minute?
Uh-oh.
And then the boss proceeds to say, I took a look at your chart and I just wanted to let you know that I have a daughter that's your age and your guys' charts are very compatible and no pressure, but I think you should I really think you guys would be great together. You should totally ask her out.
She wishes she was a Libra also.
The boss is just overstepping and also giving people tasks based on that. So anyway, all that to say.
She's also setting her daughter up with a liar. Hey, first impression of this guy was he was incredibly dishonest. I think he'd be perfect for my.
But he's been killing it
daughter.
in some of his Leo.
She's also a degenerate.
His fake Leo energy has been killing it. So all I'm saying is there's different levels of degeneracy.
Sure.
And degeneracy about different things. So here's my idea.
Yeah.
It's like a dating app. It's an AI dating app, and
everybody has to say they're a Leo before they can be on it.
It plugs into, like, if you're on Reddit, it goes onto your it plugs into your Reddit, plugs into your socials, but it also maybe has its own sort of Reddit community.
But if you're looking for dirt on people's socials, are where people lie the most.
Well, right, yeah, it's seeing how much you lie, right, and it's AI based, so it can tell like, yeah, this is what's true about that, this is what the lie is, and stuff like that. Yep. Plus, it's got your phone and mic access.
This feels like it's watching you. This is where the plug-in of my original idea.
It's surveilling you constantly, so it knows what's a lie and what's real. And so it takes all that into account. But then I think it also has an anonymous, like, Reddit-esque community thing, but it specifically gives prompts that like tell your most your most shameful story, that kind of stuff. And so like it gathers that data and it gives you anonymous matches based on your level of degeneracy.
Yeah. You just know you get a scouting report, like all the worst things this person has done. You're like, I can live with those things.
It doesn't even tell you what they've done, or it doesn't even tell you your level of degeneracy. It just says, look, based on like the worst version of you, this person's worst version of themselves is also probably a good match.
You just show up to dinner.
You do not have to be worried
across the table because she knows like you went to school in your underwear one day and forgot to put on pants.
Well, I think that there's one version where it could tell them those stories, but there's one version where it doesn't tell them anything about you. It just says like, you could tell them your worst, deepest stuff. And like, you guys will be good.
And you're just wondering the whole time, like, I wonder what kind of shitty stuff you did to get paired with me.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
That would be the fun of it.
That would be fun.
The dates would be instantly so fun.
So, okay, holy. Like, we started.
It's called, just degenerate dating. I don't know. I'm workshopping the name.
Yeah. Degenerating with an AI.
Bro.
We did it. We got there on that one.
We got it. Yeah.
I like that. That's it.
That's the pod. Yeah.
I mean, I like that idea. It doesn't even have to just be dating. I think it could be matchmaking of like clients to agencies to bring it back to somewhat business.
Here's your level of degeneracy.
Well, you know, like, oh, this client often like, you know, rips creatives or whatever, let's say. Yeah. And like me, like, oh, okay, this agency has a
really sensitive guy who gets mad when you attack his creatives.
Why would it pair those together? That wouldn't work.
Yeah. Right. No, so it's a matchmaking.
He needs to get toughened up, Will.
Yeah. No, that works. Or like, hey, this investor, like investors and founders, you know, and
yeah. Be like, this agency, the team leader there is like a visionary. This brand, you know, they're blind. I just thought that joke was gonna not land at all or crush, and it kind of did both. It didn't land, then crushed.
Take a second. That was excellent. That was excellent delivery.
Well,
all right. Do you have any other A? But I think we can wrap this one.
I think so.
Degenerating.
I like that.
The best business that we came up with.
I agree. I agree with you. I think we landed on something.
I don't know. We had some other good ones. Do you think that's the best one?
I do. I think that, we're so used to,
degenerating has a lot of mass market space, and it's differentiated in a very like a multi-billion dollar industry.
You learn about people just from the fact that they signed up for it. You know what I mean? They're not taking themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
Right?
And
like, you're not going to get the like cleaned up IG influencer type of person to even be on that.
Yeah. But it's so anonymous that she could be, you know what I mean?
Well, only anonymous until you meet that person.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. But that's the thing. The whole thing is that it's anonymous. But I get to be myself on here. And then when I meet this person, I know that none of my stuff's going to scare them away.
But the shitty stuff you've done, a level of degeneracy you're at, or like thereabouts.
Yeah.
If you get paired with somebody who's seems too clean, they're going to be worried like this person is going to...
The specific brand of degeneracy that they've done and the specific brand of degeneracy that you've done is going to be like, oh yeah, no, I see how a lot of people would be like, that's pretty fucked up, but I kind of think that's funny.
Do you know what, John?
Like, some people would think it's pretty messed up to sign up your boss for porn sites. You would not want to date that kind of person.
I wouldn't go that far. I think that's hilarious. If a girl...
No, what I'm saying, you wouldn't want to date someone who's like, that's messed up.
Oh, yeah. Fair.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's just the specific brands of degeneracy it would match up.
I don't think we actually need anything to start this. I think we could just honestly think the way that this
could start this as just like a guy who's like he's like, look, it's all anonymized.
Dude, you just get people to sign up and you can just randomly matchmake them. People are going to... They know how degenerate they are.
There'll be a placebo effect. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you could live on that for a while. I think
as long as you just get their
fake it till you make it.
I think as long as you get their political leaning and you just be like, okay, just make sure I match that up, because whenever they're degenerate about that, then they're going to be like, oh, well, that's messed up that you yell at Mexican people. And you're like, I don't know. I think it's pretty funny. And then they're like,
well, the funniest thing obviously is to match that person with a Mexican.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, well, here we go. He's like,
and then the Mexican's like, yeah, that's hilarious, actually.
You never know it'll work.
All right. I think that's the episode.
Yeah, we got there.
That's a good one. Like, comment, subscribe, leave a review wherever you're listening, whatever, or watching, whatever people tell you to do that. This is Dark Mode. We'll see you next time. Bye.